What's up, It's Joey Blush Response, and today we're taking a look at the Emu Systems Emax, one of the crunchiest lo-fi digital samplers. Let's get right into it. Okay, so we've got the Emax here and the Quantum, and what I want to demonstrate today is kind of why I value the Emax and its old sound engine. I've talked about this on a couple podcasts now about how these old samplers have a specific sound, and it could be emulated in software and newer gear, but I find this is just a much easier route, and it's just really special. So we're going to do that. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to play the Quantum, and I'm going to show you. I've got this sound, which is just a basic wavetable sweep. So we're going to sample it into the Emax and then go from there. So let's sample. We'll place the sample. Okay, so the original is going to be C4. The low is going to be C1, and the high is going to be G sharp 4. It can't transpose high that much, but it's going to get really crunchy. Basically, this works on like this number pad system. So you look at the parameters here on the side, and you press the relevant number. So we're going to get select sample right now, and you can do all these up to 42 kilohertz if you want. We'll just do 28. It's like a standard, good sounding one. Sample length. You have to pick your sampling length before you sample. So we'll just say 2 seconds. Threshold. So we gotta lower the gain. Now we're setting our sampling threshold. And then 6 arm sampling. Okay, now it's sampled. So if we play back on the Emax, had a little bit of LFO vibrato there, but okay, so basically I sampled the sound and I already truncated and looped it. So here's our original sound. And here it is in the Emax. Now we'll play an octave down. Quantum. Emax. One more octave down. Emax. As you can see, it just keeps aliasing and aliasing. I really think this is beautiful, especially when you get lower. Fucking beautiful. And the beautiful thing with the Emax is you got all this analog processing you can do after the fact. So the first thing is the legendary SSM filter. So we got a 13. And here we have our filter. Just really nice sounding. That's a beautiful filter, classic sound, really. And it has that nice little screamy self-oscillation. Now we'll do the VCA. We'll make this a pad. Look at that bass drop. We'll do the filter envelope. It's even oscillating on its own. Pretty nuts. Maybe a bit too much resonance. So, yeah, I mean, it is basically self-oscillating. But I like it though. I find it's really good for these kind of pads. Okay, oh, there's also an analog chorus we can put on, so we're going to do that. The chorus is beautiful. You got to put that on, that's like half the fun here. I mean, I can just listen to these low notes. Forever. Go back to the filter page. More of that brutal aliasing. And if I sampled at an even lower rate, there will be more of that. I mean, it's just, it's really, really nice. Love that filter. And yeah, you can hear a bit of stepping. But that's the best digital modulation technology they had in the 80s. So no complaints on my end. I could just listen to that for fucking ever, honestly. Alright, so we're gonna get the Arpeggiator going, and then we're gonna do some LFO modulation. And it's got some pretty interesting tricks with the LFO. It's a very advanced machine for the time. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to make this more of an organ type sound. So we'll go to the VCA. Okay. We'll lower the release. And to me, by the way, I've used a PPG Wave. I've used a lot of vintage digital synths. This is one of the top best sounding synths of all time to me, the Emax. I was at a studio called Synthesizer Studio Hamburg when I was on tour back in the last millennium, and I got to spend time on a PPG Wave, and it was the most satisfying thing to just sweep the wavetables. It was like perfect sounding to my ears. It was tickling my brain in such the right way, and the aliasing on the Emax gives me that exact same feeling. And I believe the PPG 2.2 and the Emax actually share the same filter, so or similar. They're both SSM. I don't know if they're the exact same filter model, but it really gets close both in the filter and in the kind of crushiness of it. So okay, we're gonna do the Arpeggiator now. Yeah. Beautiful. Now we're gonna start doing some modulation. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, it stops sometimes. But just listen to that. That's a fucking track right there. Actually, we're gonna make the arpeggiator random. Yeah, that's dark as fuck right there. It's so beautiful sounding, the chorus and everything. All right, back to analog processing. You always have to select what voice you're editing because you could have multiple ones split across the keyboard. That's basically the vibe. Okay, now we can start doing LFO stuff. Now we're in the LFO menu, so we can do filter cutoff. We'll go to LFO setup. Edit the filter. Give it some filter envelope as well. We'll put some key tracking. Yeah. Make it monophonic. Oh no, better without. Yeah. I mean, that's basically it. Play with the filter a bit more. Just amazing sounding in my book. It sounds ready. I'm gonna bring up a reverb send. See what I mean? Let's listen to that filter. Now we'll add in back some of our original quantum sound. These aren't even synced, but I'm just trying to make them work together. I think the Quantum is a fantastic synth soon. There will be a video coming on that sometime in the future. Heaven over here. Now we're gonna fuck with the Arpeggiator settings while it's playing. And you see we have the Quantum bit crushed. Now, what I was saying before about the sample transposition, I genuinely believe that you could sort of do the same thing with another synth, but the thing is, if you're using like a bit crusher and messing with it, but the problem is each key on the Emax has a different aliasing frequency because what it's doing is it's changing the sample rate. Sounds pretty hate machine, by the way, huh? It changes the sample rate every time it transposes. So, you know, up here is like, I don't know, 80,000 kilohertz, and down here is like 2,000 hertz or something. Each key has a unique aliasing frequency, so you could do it certain ways using a bit crusher, trying stuff like modulating the bit crusher against key tracking, etc., but it's never going to be exact. And I've yet to see a software piece or a modern hardware piece that does it, because now we're on fixed sample rate systems. So even in software samplers that have emulative modes for this kind of transposition, they don't get it right, in my opinion. I've not heard it yet, but I would be happy if someone finally cracked it, because it's a beautiful thing. I mean, just fucking listen to that. Quantum back. Unsync loops. Now See, I would want to go and play with the filter, the Emax, and that's one of the downsides right now, is that I would have to go into the menu and thus stop the arpeggiation to do that. That's the downside of this old gear. I could also assign the mod wheel, but it's too late to think of that now, so I'm just gonna let that play out for a bit. Just gorgeous. Fucking gorgeous. Just beautiful. These two synths are especially great together, and I feel that the Quantum is in a way a continuation of the Emax, because you have elements of it inside of it. It has the sampling engine. I'm going to do a Quantum video sometime soon, but they feel so connected to me in a way. Like you can see the lineage of the technology. Systems Emax. So that was pretty cool. I think the Emax has a very special and lo-fi sound, and it's more than just the converters. It has a lot to do with the way it interpolates the sample pitch transposition. A lot of vintage samplers do this, and almost no new samplers do this, and I think this technology is something special because it creates such weird sounds. I would love to see a plugin or a new hardware instrument come out that uses the same method or emulates it in some way, in a way that actually is done right. If you guys know some, I'd be curious to hear about it, so please suggest it. As always, samples from this jam and other jams are going to be on Patreon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace out.